Well, hello YouTube. Objective in this tutorial will be to find out largest element inside an array with integers, of course. So we're gonna do that with a dedicated function, but let me see what we are going to type in the main section of code here. So let's establish that thing like a sum array. Okay, we'll not limit ourselves when we talk about number of elements, and we're gonna put some test numbers here like 10 and 20 and 300,000 whatever, negative 55 and 0 and some big number like, I don't know, 700. So obviously 700 is biggest one visually. And now we're gonna find number of elements, number of elements. We will get it when we use size of function or operator and target that sum array, and then we're gonna divide that with size of that specific first element at position 0, because in C and C++ we are going from 0 when we talk about positions. So sum array, but something at 0 position. Now what will be custom report here? What will be end result? How we are going to get it? Well, this will be custom report like largest element, of course integer, a little bit of new line, and concatenation with call of function that we are going to write. So name for function will be, I don't know, find largest, and we will provide two things to it. Well, first one will be that big array, so that's the first parameter that we are going to pass, and another thing will be that number of elements that we have. So much about stuff that we are going to pass. And now we will handle that custom function find largest. So let's do that right here. That function must return something because it's not direct printing on a screen. We are using it, so it must have that return. And if there is a return, there must be integer return. So that's a, let's say, data type or return type for that specific function. Find largest, and we will pass to it that array with integers, which will be sum array. Okay, of course this is array, and then also integer that specific number of elements. I mean, you can use here like a shorter version of names, but why not? I mean, it's easy to understand. So these are inputs, right? Now in here we're gonna have for loop. So for loop we need some abstract x in it. It will be blank at the moment, and we also need temporary largest element or largest at the moment. Okay, so this is just a starting point. Now what about values for largest at the moment? Largest at the moment will be connected to some array to 0 position, because you must have some kind of starting point, and if we are going to roll through all of these and use for loop, then we will start rolling from, in reality, first element, which is at 0 position. So this, guys, is just starting point. Okay, and now we're gonna have that for loop x will be equal 1. X must be less than that number of elements, and we will not skip anything. So x plus plus, and then in here we're gonna have some kind of very simple algorithm. Let's say if whatever we run into some array, that specific x, so basically whatever next one in array we run into, if it's bigger, if it's larger than largest at the moment, then largest at the moment will get that bigger value. Largest at the moment will get that bigger value, okay, of x only if next in a line is bigger than previous one or starting one, when we jump from one to another until end. Okay, I think this will work. And yeah, this is just a for loop. Now we need to return that thing largest at the moment. So if this is a opening one, this is closing one, so here return that largest at the moment. Okay, and yeah, I think this will work. Largest element 700. Well, there you go, it will work. So let me repeat one more time what we are doing here. This is just the introduction of very simple, very short array with integers. Obviously, visually 700 is the biggest one. This is good for checking purposes a little bit later. And number of elements, we'll get it when we divide this big length, let's say, this big size, if you think about that, with size of this one. So when you divide big size with a small size, you will get number of small sizes, which is number of elements. So true sizes to number of elements, and then we are printing custom report calling find largest function that grab that array with integers and also that number of elements. So here what we have is a creation of that function, same stuff, calling array, providing array, providing a number of elements from here. Then we do need this x right here in the for loop. Largest element must be set to something, and that something must be, well, it is smart to be first thing, so position 0. Then we are counting from 1, reaching that number of elements top level, which is in this case 700, and then we are incrementing by 1 that x because we don't want to miss anything. Also here we can say something like this, if you don't want to have this largest one to be last one. Maybe that's confusing for some people, but there you go. Okay, so we are jumping from 1 up till number of elements, and immediately we are checking if whatever we run into is biggest than largest at the moment, like previous one or momentarily one. Then we are setting in this case, in that case, that largest at the moment is some array x, which means that we find that is bigger than largest at the previous moment. And then we are just returning that to the rest of the world. So when you call this function, you do have that return, and then you can use it in this piece of custom report. You're gonna use this into programming actually. Yes, it is kind of simple. Maybe for some people it's complicated, but you're gonna use this approach pretty much with providing stuff and with using returns for additional operation. So guys, that's it in this tutorial. Thank you for watching, thank you for support and subscription, and yeah, share this channel with other people, and we're gonna see each other in the next tutorial. Ciao ciao.